Hour 2, and I'll keep it brief because I'll go right to the people. I can't rant and rave and go nuts about it because it's the Lions, this is what they do to you almost every year. Season's over. It's not even entertaining. It's an ass product. We're talking about firing another coach. Doesn't matter what we want or what we – here's the reality.
In a year where the division is to be had.
Oh, it's
the
wide.
Packers are – guys, if you're not paying attention, they're bad.
And the Bears are bad.
Yeah.
And the Vikings are just there by default.
Yeah, the Vikings are going to win just because somebody has to.
The point is, Rico doing the postgame yesterday, we sit here and talk about it all the time. Why does anyone even watch anymore? Why? And to take it a step further, there's this weird group of fans who I will call the patience party. And this is a long-term rebuild, which is a talking point. That's all that is. Like, are the Giants not a long-term rebuild? They've been awful for a decade. They're sitting at 6-1. Are the Jets not a long-term rebuild? Is Seattle not a long-term rebuild the very year you trade Russell Wilson, you lose Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams dies, and your quarterback competition was Geno Smith and a recycling bin? Mm-hmm. And there they are. Guys, I need to understand, if you're telling me it's all good, what are you seeing that allows you to feel like progress is being made? 1 week the offense is good, the next it's awful. Hey, the D's good. Hey, the D's awful. Hey, the D's awful. Now the coach is having a brain freeze. Like, what are we doing here? That game was awful yesterday. Awful.
Yeah. With the Cowboy team that just first half, they were trying to give you the game.
They were bored.
I don't think they weren't bored. They were out of sync. You saw that Dak was just pressing, trying to come back and make throws. He wasn't in sync.
The only positive was Aiden.
Yeah.
And Lord knows we need a few positives, but I want to know.
But the problem is you can't go on the road and win and kick field goals.
That's the other thing, guys.
But you know what? Hold on. Let me stop. I'll give you credit because you did kick field goals.
Oh,
so you know what? That was the other positive
This was
thing.
Responsible Dan.
Right. This was Dan being ultra conservative.
Right.
We're kicking the field goals. We're not going for. Hey, Dan, it's right before the end of the half. You got a bunch of timeouts. No. Let's just take a knee.
Yeah, hold on.
We're
good.
good.
I got 3 timeouts. I'm not even going to try. Cut scene next week. He's going to go for it 17 times and have a kazoo in his mouth. Burr, burr. I've had it. So let's get to the people, and we'll continue to add to the topic. And the Jared Goff thing's getting very concerning here the last few weeks, but I'm sure some of you will bring that up, and we'll be here to talk about it. Lord knows. Let's go over to Mike, 97.1. Hi, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Hey,
Talk
man.
to me. What's on your mind?
Dan Campbell's got to go right now. They need to part ways with him, and this is why, because your coaching search or coaching opening will never have a higher stock or interest than it will right now going into the next 2 years. You can tell a coach, hey, Brad Holmes has half a brain. He's been able to draft some players. You know what? Might be a decent GM in the near future. Oh, as a head coach, you get 2 first-round draft picks that are probably going to be top 12 picks. When he's not the guy, he's never going to be the guy.
Mike, let me just stop you real quick. Okay, I don't disagree with you, but here's reality time. You need to let the next 2 weeks play out. If they fall to 1-7, losing back-to-back home games, and the next time you see them, I believe it's Thanksgiving Day here against the Bills. Am I right on that or wrong, boys? The point is,
right.
Mike, you gotta let it play a little more. That's all I'm saying.
If I stand correct, I think Campbell was hired before Brad Holmes, right?
Correct.
Got to go. See you later. Got to go, Dan.
I tell you this, if I'm Brad Holmes, I don't feel good about the guy I'm delivering groceries to right now. So I don't disagree with that, Mike. But then again, I don't know if Brad Holmes has got a clue. Because when you look at how they approach free agency with this defense, he either wasn't able to recruit people here or he chose not to. And neither works.
It's infuriating that the division is wide open.
Yep.
After 30 years of back-to-back Green Bay quarterbacks, a couple good Chicago runs, the Patricia Quinn era, if you look at it, how far it set us back that they could have been in year 6 or 7, hypothetically speaking, and just wide open.
Yep. And I mean, Mike, there is no, there's no Kansas City in this division. There's no Buffalo. There's no Philly. Yeah. It's there for you. And your season's over before Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
I'm a firm believer that when a GM can't hire his own coach, it's a ticking time bomb. And that puts Spielman in a tough position now, too. Because now it's going to be the push-pull mentality across the whole organization, while Rod Wood is not the football guy. So, who knows?
Yeah, and Mike, I appreciate the call. Look, going on the road to Dallas, off the bye, I couldn't put a win mandate on it. I said I need them to play really well. They didn't.
See, I think but you had to, because you had 2 weeks to get healthy, man.
I was setting this up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry for the fact I saw you watching an Ant-Man trailer. The point is,
I'm looking at the Lions schedule. That was during the break, and yes,
Rico just purchased an Ant-Man suit. Happy Halloween. No, here's my point. This week, at home, against a Dolphin team who very beat up, this is it. You lose this game and go to 1-6.
Okay, let me stop you there, because this is where it sounded like a broken record. Because let me backtrack just 2 weeks ago. You're going on the road and you're playing a quarterback in his very first start.
But this is really it.
Okay, then before that, you're playing a team in Seattle that has Geno Smith.
I mean this, though.
Okay, let's go back a week before that. You're playing Kirk Cousins and the Vikings.
Erroneous.
The last time it worked is when you played the Commanders.
I guess to me, you can have sliding scales if you're trying to make the playoffs. But like when we're talking about a belief in a coach, you do have to draw a line at a certain point and just go, I'm done.
Yeah, because they do 2 home games, and then they're on the road at Chicago, at New York, and then they're back Thanksgiving Day for the Buffalo Bills, followed by Jacksonville.
I'm very comfortable with caller Mike, and I say the next 2 weeks. Because, look, the media can say whatever they want to say now, and we can hear about how Sheila likes him and they like him. This is the conversation I had with TJ last night. I'm like, TJ, it doesn't matter whether they like him, you like him, my mom likes him. You get to a point where the temperature's just too hot.
Yeah.
And at 1-7,
that's the number.
With a record of 4-20-1, you begin to enter a space called Jimbo Land. The difference is Dan don't have an $85 million buyout.
1-7, and your coach is yet to win a game on the road. And now you have 2 road games. So
don't worry, they'll beat my Giants.
But hey, you know what else you can do? You could watch the Ant-Man trailer. David, nice little surprise. They show the next villain of the Marvel Universe.
Ant-Man or the Lions, 248. I think I'd rather watch some of these crap movies Rico watches. Go to Ivory, 97.1. What's up, Ivory?
Hey, good afternoon to you guys.
What's up, man?
Not much. It's just so all over the place with my feelings with it. I watch the team because I'm 47. I love football. The Lions are my only team. I'm a big Broncos fan since the Elway days, so I just watch because, I just love football, and I've been a Detroit resident for a while. But I understand what it's been and what it is. And, I think right now, and I'll continue to say it, it's a results-based business. I try not to get into the comparison game and do the Jets-Giants things, but they're so relevant. Like, you look at Carolina, Seattle, the Giants, the Jets, all these teams are winning despite of all these other things in their way. Carolina went out there with P.J. Walker and beat Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay's a mess. Giants won Daboll, first-year head coach with all those players missing. The Jet, and it's like, okay, they did play good in the sense of their defense. I can't really put that blame on him, Campbell, yesterday. But, Goff, they need a new quarterback. And like you said, they're in such a tricky spot because just like with Quinn, and they inexplicably gave them that pick to make, when they were just lame duck coaches. Are you going to go out there and keep golf again, and draft a young quarterback and bring him back and he's going to lose 3 games?
There's the key. Mm-hmm. And this is something I want to get into as the week goes along, Ivory. This idea for the patience people of a long-term rebuild, you need to really visualize what bringing a rookie QB here and a coach
who's going to lose games.
Right. So how on earth would you keep him?
Right, because you know what you look like? You're going to look like the Tigers. You're going to end up being year 5, year 6 before you finally see some results. Because let's be real, unless you draft the Joe Burrow type, most of your rookie quarterbacks aren't ready until year 3.
Right.
Right. Because if I'm Holmes and I'm not tied, and I'm literally like, I don't know as much as what goes on in there. If he's literally not tied to this guy, I'm going to Sheila back door like, look, if this guy doesn't win, like if these next 11 games, he's going off season, I'm getting rid of this guy. I'm letting you know that.
Well, look, he doesn't have the power to do that. I'll just tell you that right off the top. Because from the very beginning,
that's the problem.
No, I mean, very beginning, Brad Holmes is just a part of the family. Mm-hmm. Oh, don't worry. Chris gets a say. Rod the Bod gets a say. Sheila gets a say. Look, it's a collaborative experience. That's what they've sold you on. So understand something. Ivory, I am trying the best that I can to not utter the words, Dan Campbell, go bye-bye. I need to see the next 2 weeks. If he hits 1-7, I can only tell you what a real organization would do.